Today I'm going to rank my top 10 Dreamworld rides. Dreamworld has quite a good selection, so this is going to be an interesting list. And before we start, I'm going to say some bad things about Motor Coaster, but please know I do not mean them. Number 10, Kenny's Forest Flyer. I'm not a huge fan of this coaster at all. It's a relic from a time when Vekoma was infamous for its subpar rides, and honestly it really shows. Even as far as family coasters go, it's slow, boring, and not very interesting. I last rode this during its original Rugrats theme, and I've heard it's gotten worse since. I do like the new theming and track colour though. Number 9, Wiggles Big Red Car. Ah yes, the infamous Wiggles Dark Ride, one that many of you may recognise from Defunctland's documentary. This ride was honestly never good in my opinion. It was slow, clunky, and honestly quite disturbing. You know, going at a snail's pace through those large empty rooms with bits of the Wiggle songs playing and these creepy figures of Dorothy, Henry and Wags. Oh, it was just weird. Number 8, Wiggles Big Red Boat. The world's first Wiggles roller coaster. This is a very cute and fun ride, a Zamperla powered family coaster. I've only done this once, and while I enjoyed it, it did feel awkward queuing as a fully grown adult, and to be honest, I got very dizzy riding it. Much more so than the other rides at the park, which is quite weird. It's a 3-lap special, so going through that twisty layout over and over again really hurt all of my party's heads. Number 7, Motor Coaster. Ah, Motor Coaster. Honestly, at the time of recording, I've only done this once. The ride is very infamous, with many enthusiasts calling it one of the worst roller coasters in the world, due to its weird, uncomfortable seats and boring layout. But honestly, I didn't find it that bad. I guess I set my expectations too low, you know. As a big guy, I honestly felt Big Red Boat was much more uncomfortable to sit in. And yeah, the theming does suck and the layout is boring, but honestly, not the worst out there. Don't get me wrong, I do think it's a very subpar coaster, just slightly overhated. I do think the park should look at doing something to it sooner than later, like a re-theme or something with new trains, or just replacing it completely. Oh, that was hard to say, I'm sorry Motor Coaster. Number 6, Murrissippi Motors. The theming on this vintage cars is incredible by modern day Australian standards. It's the best themed outdoor ride by far. You know, going past temples, snakes, waterfalls, driving through a stream, going behind a waterfall, and of course a real airplane. You know, the theming on this thing is so impressive. The ride should only get better with age too, as all that greenery grows in. Ride hardware wise, it's okay. I mean, I think it's a teeny bit too short, and I'd personally prefer if the cars were electric rather than petrol, but overall the amazing theming really carries this ride for me. I completely understand how it would be many people's favourite ride, especially kids. Vintage cars are always particularly fun for the little ones. I vividly remember loving the original that used to sit where Motor Coaster resides today. Number 5, Sky Voyager. This is a fantastic flying theatre, very similar to soaring at the Disney parks, and honestly it's very close in quality, which isn't something one would usually expect. There's a lot of scenes, the ride experience is fun, the screen quality is decent enough, and it even has smell pods and other effects. A solid ride. I just personally don't enjoy riding it too much due to the slow operations and multiple pre-shows. You know, it's a hard one to re-ride because it just takes so long to get onto the actual ride itself. Number 4, Gold Coaster. Gold Coaster may have one of the weirdest coaster layouts in the world for its type, due to it being designed for its original home in Luna Park, Sydney. The station is also weird, being very elevated with a long twisted queue line to get to it. Even so, it's a very fun ride, quite intense and has a lot of fun elements. You know, going through Whitewater World next door is really fun. It certainly gives it an awesome backdrop. Opinions of the ride seem to be extremely polarizing. You know, it's either loved or hated. I'm firmly in Team Love, and I always enjoy giving this a ride when I'm at the park. I just wish the theming was a bit better, but I do love the retro beach theme, and the blue colour of the track really pops out. Number 3, Tower of Terror. No, not the Disney one, and no, not that one in South Africa or that one in the UK. Okay, I'll stop. I mean the legendary Intamin freefall coaster itself. This debuted in the 90s and instantly became a world-class coaster, putting Dreamworld on the map. This thing was huge, nearly 400 foot tall, with a launch hitting 100 miles per hour. This thing completely blew my mind as a kid, and I absolutely loved it. It was just so loud. You could hear it literally everywhere in the park, and even being remotely close to it was overwhelming due to the sound. It certainly made the vintage cars next door an interesting experience. While still a good ride, I was less of a fan of the backwards version, Tower of Terror 2. Losing the coaster in 2019 was a real shame. I really miss it, but my eardrums don't. Number 2, Steel Taipan. This is a unique version of the Mark Bluefire coaster model due to its triple launch and inverted tail element. This is a very special ride to me, as it was one of the first that I closely followed on this channel before I spoke or even used the on-screen subtitles. Watching this go up was really fun and extremely exciting, and the coaster experience didn't disappoint either. It's fun, smooth, with some really cool elements such as the final Bluefire roll, one of the craziest inversions I've ever done. Speaking of crazy, the world's first spinning back seat is completely bonkers. To this day, it's honestly the craziest roller coaster experience that I've ever had. Spinning while going through all those elements, especially that Bluefire roll, was absolutely insane. Nothing I've done so far even compares to that, not even the infamous flying dinosaur. It's a very fun ride, usually has good enough operations, and it really stands out at the park. I love it. Number 1, Jungle Rush. This probably isn't a surprise to many of you, is it? I love this coaster. I love theming, roller coasters and dark rides, and this one mixes it all up in such a great way. The temple facade? Amazing. World class. The indoor queue? Also incredible, and easily the best themed queue Australia has ever had. The ride itself? Very, very fun. You know, it's the world's first Vekoma switchback coaster, a really unique and interesting original ride system that can send the train to completely different ride circuits. And it's all done in this very well themed indoor show scene with some solid theming and loud ambient music, which I absolutely adore. Out of the two circuits, I vastly prefer the first one. You know, it's a bit more tight and whippy. Going in and out of the temple is awesome. The second circuit is just okay. It's a bit less interesting for me. You know, going around the outdoor scenery is fun and all, and it can give some great airtime at the end, depending on your seat. I just think it's a bit compared to the other circuit. Overall, it's a fantastic package coaster, world class in many respects, and watching it rise from the ashes of Wiggles World was a very memorable experience, which many of you shared with me through my updates. I can't wait to see what Dreamworld has in store for the future. If it's anything like Jungle Rush, we're in for a treat. Now you may be wondering why some rides didn't make the list. Giant drop? Well, I actually haven't ridden this yet. I plan to very soon though, as my sore back is nearly better, and I'll be sure to talk about it after I ride it. Same with Serpent's Lair. I haven't ridden the more intense Wild Style yet, but Mild Style was fun enough. I just didn't feel like giving it a ranking until I experienced the whole thing, you know. Eureka Mountain Mine Train? I did ride this, I just don't remember much about it aside from how claustro it was. What about Thunder River Rapids or the Log Flume? I was never a massive fan of the Log Flume, and Thunder River Rapids was fun enough, just not good enough to make the list. Anyhow, that's it. What do you think? Do you agree with my list? I'm genuinely interested in hearing your own top 10s, so please leave them in the comments below. I also have more top 10 lists on the channel if you're interested, so please check them out too. A very big thank you to my YouTube members, the Ogre Bros and the Ogre Sisters, for your kind support. A big thank you to Straws, SWStevie1, Artie Husky, Matt Jonas, Anti-Furry, TV, Reese is a Bomb, Tristan, Randall, Movies Like Everyone, Liam's Law, Jack W, Kerry Jeckeln, Koala75, Misty I'm Your Arm, Chaz FS, Audrey Allen, Johnny Boy 175, Craig Haired, Ashton, Senpai's JP Blue Dog, Jacqueline Bees, Senpai's JP Red Dog, Gaming with Nicholas, Quacktagonist, Sudden Someone, Agent Cooper, Thrifty, and a new member, Ethan. Thank you all very much for your support, I really appreciate it. Thank you for watching, please consider watching another of my videos, I'll be sure to see you there. Have a great rest of your day. Ogre out! Did you make it to the end? Leave a comment with Motor Coaster!